It's Tuesday the 15th, I'm FX Plu and this is CurrencyTransfer.com's market update. So the main headlines today are that Brexit is out of the headlines but still an important driver. There's little reaction to the Middle East so far and the euro is exposed to Italian political risk. So in the UK, Brexit remains one of the single most important drivers to the UK economy and therefore to sterling, weighing on the pound. The Irish border remains a critical issue for a government that is largely propped up by a radical group of Irish MPs who are all determined to be heard. Recently there were some veiled proposals about some kind of halfway house customs union, but this split the cabinet, so expectation is for this topic to run a little longer yet. Trump has done his best to stir things up in the Middle East. Firstly, he moved the US embassy over to Jerusalem and then withdrew from the US nuclear deal with Iran. Tehran did warn of consequences before Trump pulled out, and the demonstrations yesterday could well signal a return to unrest as Tehran starts to exert its influence more. To date, there has been little reaction to global risk appetite here. The dollar index yesterday, it has slipped on the demonstrations down to a low of about about 92.25, but did recover before the close to finish the day largely unchanged at 92.65. Today, we've got retail sales out of the US. This is a key data point for the FOMC as it's a measure of current consumer sentiment and activity. Expectation is for this data set to rise slightly following disappointing figures in March. And meanwhile, euro dollar remains in a relatively narrow range between the support at 118.80 and the psychological resistance at 120. But Italian politics may well be a driver to test the recent lows at 118.22 once again. The nomination of an Italian PM has been placed on hold while the key issues are agreed, but there's still plenty here to play out. And the adoption of a clearly anti-EU or anti-Brussels government in Italy could have far-reaching consequences for both the EU and the single currency. Anything of note today will of course keep you posted. Any questions, pop them in the comments below.